The Middle East may be seen as a land of opportunity for many. There's plenty of wealth here, but what's presented as an opportunity for some can sometimes turn into something more sinister. In its new report called Tricked and Trapped, the ILO estimates that 600,000 migrant workers across the Middle East are victims of forced labor. That basically means 1 in 300 people living in this region is a victim. Now, the study focuses on 4 countries: Jordan, Kuwait, Lebanon, and the UAE. Now, the Kuwait and the UAE are 2 of the Gulf Arab countries, and what's unique about this part of the world is the sheer size of the migrant population. Up to 70% of the total labor force in this region is thought to be made up of migrant workers. So the potential for exploitation is huge. The author of the report, Beata Andres, told us about the sort of circumstances people face here.
Our research team interviewed hundreds of workers, and the experiences, independent of the country, were very similar, actually. We saw that most of them were deceived right from the beginning. They were lured into jobs that either didn't exist or that were offered under conditions that were very different from what they were promised in the first place.
In Lebanon, CNN's Arwa Damon explored the plight of migrant workers there 18 months ago. Many come for work despite bans on domestic employment by their own governments.
Like Hannah. She says she had no choice but to come to Lebanon 3 years ago to support her family in Ethiopia after her father died. Her first employer sexually harassed her. I couldn't be the way he wanted. I came only to work, not to do anything else, she tells us. He would offer money, offer me things if I would accept. Eventually, his wife found out about her husband's advances, and Hannah says he beat them both.
The ILO says this kind of abuse of power is made easier by the kafala, or sponsorship system, that is common in most Middle East countries. It basically means you're tied to your employer because of your work visa. That's not unusual in other parts of the world, but in this region, many employers take advantage of the system.
The system was not set up to create this extreme dependence between employers and workers. Many employers also abuse their disproportionate power over the workers by retaining the passports, refusing to hand these passports back. Many countries have actually prohibited the retention of passports under different laws. But we also have to say very critically that very often these laws are not fully enforced.
Andres says many of the workers are also afraid to come forward. So in addition to enforcing the laws, the ILO says a lot more needs to be done. For instance, encouraging authorities to oversee the recruitment process, empowering them to handle complaints, and increase inspection of labor conditions. Of course, an overhaul of the sponsorship system in the Middle East would only go a short way to solving a global problem. Last June, the ILO estimated that almost 21 million people worldwide are victims of forced labor.